board evaluations are important. It's a part of the corporate governance framework. And I believe doing board evaluations can add value to the company because you can spot the weaknesses and strengths of each member of the board and then make remedy actions in order to make the board more efficient in the decision making, and indirectly you can win with this because if you have good decision making, it means more revenues and more profitability. So that's why you need to do the board evaluations. I believe that ethics is very important to have as a board member because it comes from the head and the ethics go to the bottom, the way you work, the way you work with a compliant manner is very important. And also this training of the board is very important. The training of the board, the training of the executives within the company for new products, for new services. And it's important in order to take the right decisions again and follow the strategy of the company. And it's important to have to follow in general the corporate governance codes, not only the board evaluation and being ethical, but also have all the other things that makes a good governance of a company. Having 3 lines of defense, your compliance, your risk manager, your internal auditor. You need to have to train your board, your executives for new products. So it's important to follow all this in order for the stakeholders to have a trust and invest in your company.
A high quality board is a board that actually has balance in all the aspects of its activities. It means complementarity of profiles for the board members, good fit in terms of competencies, expected and needed competencies for the strategy of the company, and also a collective behavior which represents the values of the company and the culture of the company and operates effectively and efficiently. And it's all about balance. So we discussed before that a challenge that usually board members have is to be able to stay non-executive when in their actual lives they have an executive role. And this is a balance exercise. So they need to be trained, or they need to understand that there is a different context and they need to act as non-executives in this context. But other topics that should be met in order to have a good board, a high quality board, is the representation. So what is needed is the group of people that consist of the company and the stakeholders, and the main stakeholders of the company should be equally represented in the board in order to be able to stay connected with the real economy, with the reality, and not to have just people coming from specific functions with very high knowledge, but limited connection with the market and the stakeholders.
One thing that we see happening after board evaluation assessments is that we see some board members needing to understand further the need for compliance or the need for risk management, or understand how to better read financial reports and understand numbers. So there are some training needs anticipated and coming out of this process that need to be addressed by the board and the chair, of course. Also, there are other needs in leadership, or if we do, let's say, a personal assessment of the competency-based assessment of the board members, we also find needs in leadership development, or let's say in communication areas that also might need to be addressed by the chair and the board. So it is a process that I would not say always, but usually might lead to some areas for training. The most imminent one might be the risk management and the compliance, and recently we can also see the ESG as one area that the board members need to get some training on.